After years and years of enjoying different handbags, I've finally come to learn that there are 10 types of handbags that absolutely do not work for me. So I have stopped purchasing them, and I'm going to share with you those 10 categories in this video. So I've got some bags here for demonstrative purposes. So this is an old Prada bag. This is probably my oldest bag right now. I've gotten rid of a lot of my older vintage bags from 20 plus years ago, but this one I kept for sentimental reasons because it's the one bag that my husband gifted to me. So it just feels a little extra special, right? So this is about 20 years old, and it's absolutely cool looking. It's like this big bowling bag. You know, it's got this nice shiny leather, two handles, but I've learned over the years that bags that have only top handles are just not my jam. I need to have versatility. Mainly, I need to have a strap, a crossbody strap. I need to have another way to carry the bag versus just top handle. Now, to be fair, when I was younger, in my 20s, I wore this bag a lot to my earlier jobs in corporate, and it was very roomy. I have it stuffed at the moment. I love the zipper, but I just don't reach for this. And if you've watched my older videos, you know that I am just hanging on to this for sentimental reasons. And I'm not a big proponent of doing that because I do like to declutter and keep it very simple. But again, this has a story behind it with my husband purchasing it for me when we were very young. So I am hanging on to it. The other top handle bag that I have that I very rarely use, you guys may not be surprised if you've watched my videos so far, is my Hermes Birkin 30 size in the gold Togo leather. I think it's a very, again, cool looking bag, but it only has the top handle. And if you know, Birkins are not meant to be worn with a strap, even though you can sort of rejigger it to have a strap, you know, from these top handles here. But it just sort of throws off the look, in my opinion. It also throws off the balance. This is meant to be carried like this in the crook of your arm. And again, because of that reason, I don't feel like this bag works for me very much. So these two bags here, as good looking as they may be, have taught me that I really don't need to be looking for any more bags that are purely top handle for my wardrobe. Just to give you a comparison here, here's another sort of top handle bag, but it has straps. It's got shoulder straps. So this is my Chanel Deauville tote, and it is one of my most used bags, and I think it's because of the versatility where I can grab it by the top handles, put it through the crook of my arm, but also I will just fling it over my shoulder, and it's so easy, good to go. And so I will definitely reach for this far more than the Birkin and surely more than the Prada. Another thing that I've realized that doesn't work for me is heavy bags. So this bag is on the heavier side. I haven't weighed it in a while, but I remember always feeling like it was heavy, especially with my stuff inside. The Birkin 30 size can get heavy as well. And my Chanel Jumbo also falls into the heavier category. So I would say these are all roughly about 2 pounds or just under 2 pounds, which is kind of a lot for me. I'm a lightweight. And if you have the double flap Chanel Jumbo, you'll know that it's even heavier because it has more leather inside if you have the additional flap. Mine's a single flap, so it saves a little bit of weight. But I think that people who have the double flap Chanel say that it's about 2.5 pounds, which is very heavy. So absolutely no more heavy bags for me. Sometimes I'll show you bags that are sent to me by brands and I'll tell you the weight of them. And I do tell you if it's heavy, especially if it's over 2 pounds. So lately I have been wearing this bag a lot. I can't stop carrying it. It's the MZ Wallace large metro tote that I did a full review on. It's got all my stuff inside because it is so light and so easy that I really have no reason to switch out of it. It's just as roomy, if not roomier, than all of these bags sitting here. It's also much more low maintenance and just feels good on my shoulder. So now I know no matter how attractive a bag is to me, if it weighs too much, it's a no-go. Now, the third type of handbag that I realized does not work for me is when a bag has only chain straps and no leather break or no leather woven in. So these Chanel bags work fine because you would be surprised the leather woven into the chains makes it feel so much softer and more cushiony and more comfortable. Same here. Here's the Jumbo. And then the Deauville has the same interwoven chains, but also the leather break, which makes it even more comfortable. I don't mind switching up and accessorizing my existing bags with chains once in a while, but if that's the only option, like it only comes with full chain straps and there's no way to switch them out, then I'm not going to do that. I remember years ago I did a video when I purchased the Gucci Super Minis. I thought they were super cute, but I returned them for 2 reasons. One was the chain was really cold and heavy and uncomfortable, and also unfortunately the The ones that I ordered had quality issues, like defects along the sides, so those went back. Also, years ago, I had shown this Valentino velvet rock stud bag that I scored off of Fashion File for a really great price because it was missing the strap. And I thought, wow, I scored an amazing deal. I think it was like $900 or something like that. But I realized very quickly that velvet as a material for handbags is just not for me. I felt like it would get smelly and dirty and wet in the rain. And I also felt like the softness of the velvet would eventually get sort of crushed and pressed. And I also felt like it was very seasonal. When I think of velvet, I think of fall, winter, and it wasn't a bag I could use year round. So I did let that go in one of my earlier vlog sales many years ago. So no more velvet for me. The same thing goes with patent leather. I tried purchasing this Chanel patent leather reissue style bag. I actually went back and forth on this and had to sleep on it because I thought I really want to keep it. It's absolutely beautiful. But after I slept on it, I realized that the care and the maintenance would just be too much of a headache. If you know, patent leather can get damaged very easily, and there is absolutely no way to reverse or repair the damage on patent leather. So you just have to live with it. And it was a very expensive bag, and I thought I didn't want to take the risk. So I did get a little card holder in patent leather from Chanel, but I realized that for bags, patent leather is not my thing. Also, here's another Chanel bag that taught me a lesson. This beautiful red classic flap in lambskin I purchased from a reseller, and I was smitten as soon as it arrived. It was so soft, it was so gorgeous. It was right around the holidays, so it was very festive feeling with a bright pop of red. But then it quickly dawned on me months later that other than Valentine's Day and Christmas, I really wasn't going to be using this red colored bag very often because I have a very neutral wardrobe, and with neutrals, the red just popped too much. I think after about a year or so, I did let that bag go as well, so no more bright red bags for me. All right, here's another color that I've learned that is not for me. It's gray, and I know that gray can be a beautiful neutral, but for some reason with my skin tone, gray just washes me out. So many of you may recall that I let go of my Hermes Kelly 28 in the Togo leather. It was in the color called Gris Meyer. It was actually a pretty stunning looking bag, but I wasn't using it very much purely because of the color. So I did a whole video on why I decided to let this bag go, and I have not had any regrets since. I also had a couple of other gray bags. One was from my collab with Dress Up Your Purse, and I gifted that to my mother-in-law because it just suits her wardrobe much better. And I also had a gray crossbody bag from Parisa Wang, which was a really nice dark saturated elephant gray. But again, because it didn't work for me, I gifted that to my aunt. So I'm learning that if I bring in gray bags, other people will wind up benefiting because I'll eventually let them go. I also have to admit, sadly, that I cannot do overly colorful or ornate bags. As much as my alter ego would love to flaunt these bags like a peacock, it's just not me. There was this gorgeous, gorgeous Chanel wallet on chain that I had acquired from the boutique, and it was this absolutely mermaidy, unicorn, gorgeous, iridescent eye candy, and I had a hard time letting it go, but I had to come to terms with the fact that I had never used it. I never had the guts to take it outside and wear it, so I took a ton of photos just to remember it, and then I sold it. Same thing with this really unique Longchamp bucket bag. I was smitten as soon as I saw it in the store. I was told it was limited edition. I thought it was beautiful, very well crafted, bought it on the spot. I wore it once and I kept thinking, this doesn't suit me, but it does suit my sister, who is a little bit more eclectic with her wardrobe, so I gave it to her. Here are some of my colorful SLGs. I realized that if I want to incorporate pops of color and more fun into my handbags, they have to be in the form of smaller goods like this, because then it just gives me a little bit of eye candy inside my bags, but I can't really do such bright, vibrant colors on my shoulder as a handbag. For example, here's this beautiful bubblegum pink. It's called Rose Bonbon. It's a color that I think was discontinued, but it's so pretty. I chose this color from Floron. This is the mini Hortensia bag with the beautiful floral detail on the hardware. And I think it's very pretty and very feminine, and I keep imagining myself wearing this, dressed up, very girly, but I still haven't really been able to do that because, again, it's just really not my thing to wear such bright handbags. My daughter, however, is 14 and absolutely adores this bag, so I'm going to hang on to it for her in case she wants to start wearing it down the road. Next, I realized that bags that do not fit my phone comfortably are just a deal breaker now. So this is probably as small as I will get. This is my Gucci Horsebit mini. It's the 1955. The signature horsebit detail here. It's such a cute bag. I've since let go of all of my older vintage Gucci bags from 20 years ago and now just have this one. And I've always said that this is more than enough. I don't need more monogram, more Gucci logos. One cutie is fine. And thankfully my large iPhone Pro Max size still fits in here. So this is the smallest I'm going to go. I'm not going to go with tiny, tiny little micro bags because I like to put my phone away, tucked into my bag, and not, in my hand the whole time. So this is just to demonstrate it's not that I don't like this bag, it's that anything smaller than this is not going to work for me. And lastly, but very importantly, bags that have poor quality or do not live up to their expectations are a no-go for me. I have made several videos in the past talking about how I really don't want to settle when I'm making these kinds of purchases because this is all discretionary spending and they're not necessities. These are just wants for fun. So it's not fun for me if I purchase something and I discover that there's a defect or there's a quality issue or it smells funny or it feels funny because I want to get what I expected when I paid for it. So I don't really have anything to show you in this segment of the video because anything that I have felt that was poor quality, I've either returned or I've let go in some way. So I would say if you've recently purchased something and you're still within the return window and you don't feel like it's well made or worth the price, then definitely take advantage of that return policy and get rid of it, give it back to them, because you don't want to constantly look at an item and be like, wow, I can't believe I spent my money on this. I should have returned it. So those are the 10 types of handbags that absolutely do not work for me. I'd love to know from you guys in the comment section if you have criteria when you purchase handbags, if you have deal breakers where you know something will absolutely not work for you and therefore you don't buy it anymore. Hope you got something out of this video. If you did, please give it a like and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.